Oh my gosh, it feels so weird to film. It's been forever since I've been in front of the camera, but hey girl, hey. In 2023, the western region of the USA had the highest poverty rate at 15%, followed by the South at 13.6%. The Northeast, 11.9%. And the Midwest came in at about 9.8%. With numbers like that, I'm sure we can all agree that homelessness is a problem in America. But like, how can that be? Especially in a country where the majority of people in poverty have at least a high school education. Well, in this video, we're going to discuss why that answer may just be a little bit more nuanced than you think. But before we get into all of that, my name is Tandy, and I literally have not made a video in probably like 3 months. But stay a while, okay? I actually have a treat for you guys this week. I am dropping 3 videos since I've been gone for 3 months. So definitely want to make sure that you hit that subscribe button and turn on the post notifications too, so that you can be notified of those 3 new videos this week. Now, my name is Tandy. I don't know if I already said that. Oh my gosh. I literally need to get back into the swing of things. But yeah, let's get into it. So let me tell you how we got here, first of all. Okay, we got here because I came across this particular video on TikTok. It is a stitch, but it definitely provoked me to talk to my phone. So that means that I need to talk to you guys about it.
Oh, $8,000 in back rent. And it doesn't even matter if I... You can either look at this video and say 2 things. She's crying a lot, and if you can't feel the pain in her voice, let me tell you, I can, because I was there a few months ago. Those who are OG followers of mine, y'all seen me in the same position a few months ago when the housing authority put all of us out. But my story wasn't that I didn't pay rent. My story was that I actually paid rent. I was up to date. I was a great tenant. My house stayed clean. My lawn stayed nice. They just didn't want to give us vouchers because they were going to redevelop our property. And instead of giving the people there the resources in order to move, they just went on ahead and put us out. No vouchers, no assistance, no nothing. That's why I'm in a hotel. Not because I didn't pay my rent. None of that is my story.
Is it just me, or does that statement not come off as a tad weird? Like, why do you keep emphasizing that, oh, that's not my situation. That's not my situation. Like, girl, I'm about to clock your tea, because why you throwing shade? I'm just saying. Like, you don't have to keep emphasizing and telling us that you pay your bills, okay? You don't owe us no explanation. I don't know. I got some words. Let me let her finish, though. I'm gonna let her finish.
But it's the same situation where I was in a position of depression. I was in a position of postpartum depression. Not just depression, but also postpartum depression. And the housing authority took advantage of my mental state. They took my money. They took advantage of my kids. They saw that I was working hard, going to school, working, and they put me out in the middle of trying to be successful for my family. I came to TikTok crying in the same fashion because I couldn't believe the housing authority, the entity that is supposed to help you get on your feet, who is supposed to encourage you into self-sufficiency, put me out and ended me into homelessness.
Okay. I'm sorry. I gotta stop her. Y'all might not agree with what I'm about to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I don't think that that's what the housing authority is for. I feel like it is a stepping stone. It is a means to an end, when you are having some financial hardships, right? I don't know. I just feel like she's coming across as entitled a little bit. I don't know. How do y'all feel? Comment down below. I just feel like it's coming across really entitled. Like, let's say that is what they were supposed to be doing. You said what she said. She was living there for like 4 or 5 years, something like that. You didn't have a situation set up for this moment. They gave you months notice in advance. I don't think that you're owed a voucher. Some of y'all may think that sounds mean, but I just don't think that you're entitled to relocation. I don't know, maybe not monetary anyway, because maybe they can provide resources, right? They should be able, maybe housing could provide resources like, here are, I don't know, some shelters, or, here are some food pantries, nearby, just in case like you need this or that. I think that would be well intended, but I don't think that housing owes anybody any kind of prearranged situation. Like, I just don't think that that's right. You were privileged enough to live in the damn community, honestly, because a lot of us out here is paying $2,000 for some rent, and it just seems like the privilege would be to live in that type of situation in order to, get your feet right? I mean, it should be a stepping stone. She kind of said the same thing. Let's finish this video though.
Like, are you kidding me? I haven't been in house. I've never lived in housing. Living in McKinney housing was my first and last time ever in housing. And I won't say my last time because I'm currently on.
Right. You just said your last time though.
Assistance as we speak. What I'm saying is
very pretentious.
Having to trust these places to provide us with a stepping stone.
She literally just said it. You just said that you would never. And then you're like, oh, no, let me take it back. I'm glad she took it back, because humble yourself, right? None of us are above living in housing. None of us. Again, the vibe is just coming off very, very pretentious. How y'all feeling about this so far? Like, comment down below what you thinking. This video is premiering, so I will be in the comments down below.
Because that's what they're labeling as. Housing assistance is a stepping stone, right? When I used that housing assistance as a stepping stone, they took that as me leveling up, and that's something that they didn't want me to do. So I faced retaliation. There was nothing that I could do to stop these people from attacking me from being great. So a lot of times when y'all are referring me to housing, I do it because I have no other choice because of the position I'm in. But y'all are sending me to the very people who got me in the homelessness situation. And yes, they may not be the McKinney Housing Authority. They may be running a little better. But my trauma is still there with the housing authority. I still distrust them. I don't want to allow these people to have control over my life ever again.
First of all, your landlord having control over your life is a bit of a exaggeration. Like, I get where she's coming from as far as like, that's your home, right? That's where you lay your head, where you sleep at night. I think unfortunately when people are going through economic hardships, it can be hard to save. But I think also you have to understand that living situation arrangement is temporary. Like, you're not guaranteed anything. Like, at any given moment, that property is someone else's. I mean, even I don't live in any type of housing or Section 8 situation, but I mean, I do rent, right? And like, this building, it's not mine, right? It's not mine. So if I just happen to look in the mail one day and they tell me that, hey, we're selling this and you got to get out in 6 months, 3 months, whatever, that's just what it is. And they would not give me any vouchers. And I don't believe that I would be entitled to anything as such. Like, the fact that she would think that they would give her something monetarily to help her or to put her somewhere else, I think that's a bit of a stretch. Again, like I said, maybe some resources can be given out, but this girl is coming off very, very demanding. I am... like, she seems like a very nice, kind woman, but it just comes off very self-centered, like very ego-driven, I'll say. But like, what are some examples? Housing controlling your life? That seems like a bit of a stretch, no? I don't know. Leave some comments down below if I'm tripping. What are some examples of ways that housing can control your life?
So me looking back to housing assistance for me, I necessarily don't want to have to do it, but my hands are forced. If you guys could just understand that sometimes housing puts you in a worser position than you were already in, A lot of y'all haven't lived in housing. A lot of y'all don't even know the concept of housing other than women using and abusing it and letting their baby daddies and all of that come and sneak in, and that's all y'all know about housing. But have you ever lived in housing? Have you ever gone through the process of applying or being denied or having to fight for your rights inside of housing property? Not Section 8. I'm talking about public housing here. Section 8 is a totally different side of the ball game. What I was in was public housing. It's a totally different type of situation than regular housing.
I feel like she definitely makes a point saying that, you know, it is tough living in housing. I know some family members of mine who still live in housing, and it's not easy getting your demands met. I mean, sometimes they don't ever get met. Some management companies don't even take care of their own property. Like, it can be tough. Now, I will say that sometimes housing can be a crutch. You might even find people who live in housing, you know, their entire lives. So you go back 30, 40 years and they're still living in that same place. And that's no shade, because hey, if that's what you can afford, that's what you can afford. You feel me? But like, it can definitely be a crutch because it puts you in a state of fear, you know, where you're in a scarcity mindset thinking that you can't find anything better out there, so you might as well just stay. And I think that's why a lot of times in these housing developments, you know, when you go to apply for said housing, they have these long waiting lists because a lot of people have this scarcity mindset, like, oh, I'm not going to find anything better, so let me try to stay here as long as possible. And in this video, I want to make sure to stress how much harder it is to purchase a home, even if you no longer choose to rent your space, because I'm sure there's some boomer or out of touch person that's going to try to stress the importance of home equity and all of that, which is great, but at the same time, again, out of touch. Like, read the room, Rachel. This article published by NPR says that the average decent home in the U.S. is $100,000. But according to the IRS, the average American has an income of only about $50,000 a year. Now, I do not know the stories of either of these women in this video. If they are single or not, that's none of my business. But I'm going to go ahead and say it. If they are single, that is the problem. The system is designed to support families and businesses. And as a single person, myself with no children, nobody knows that better than me at tax time, honey. Okay? So there's added nuance that we must point out for sure. So I definitely can understand where she's coming from when she says that there's a lot more to the situation than I think the majority of people understand unless you've been in that situation. But let's see what she want to leave us with.
It's very difficult to be a trying human in 2024. But what I mean by that is you're doing everything in your power to live righteous, to live in your purpose, to live by God's word. Everything that is surrounding you is complicating that. For example, jobs, the housing assistance people, the shelter, the government, the school, the hospitals and the doctor's offices. Like, all these places has the potential to be detrimental to the black woman, the black man, the black children. And while a lot of y'all can't relate, it baffles me that the people who are the same color as me could get online and watch a video of somebody in desperation of help and to laugh about it. That's why y'all don't see me too much come and put in my 2 cents on anybody's situation, because y'all don't really be knowing what's going on. I understand speaking on perspective and speaking on a place of experience, but to just blatantly disregard someone's valid emotions about their situation, whether it was their fault or not, I feel is inhumane, because losing somewhere to sleep for you and your children to lay your head comfortably at night has to be the most traumatic thing that anyone could ever experience.
But I think overall, my consensus here to this video is that I don't think that affordable housing is labeled or packaged in the way that this creator is presenting it. As someone who has lived in public housing, I think affordable housing is just that, affordable. What you choose to do with the resources that you accumulate during your stay in one of these developments is really up to you. You can make it work for you, or it literally be a crutch to you. It's totally at your discretion. I think people just need to stop looking for a savior and just pray. Personally. That's what I think. And pray to whoever that may be to you. Not too much on me and mine's, but you and yours, I want y'all to be locked in real good, okay? Now, when you look to the comment section under this video, other people are giving their testimonies too. Now, on one hand, Meek says, I got my old job back in March. Worker told me to stack up a few checks and she check in with me. She didn't until July. Didn't have to pay rent until August. I love you, Brandy. Thank you. Shout out to Brandy for, being a girl's girl. We love that. But Kitty done said under the same post, I'm currently facing eviction because housing didn't pay their portion of the rent. They owe my landlord almost $15,000 and the landlord wants me out. Yikes. That is problematic. And a story that I've heard far too many times, especially being from New York. Oh my gosh, people who are on Section 8 or any kind of government assistance with their rent. Oh my gosh, the amount of complaints on the city of New York for them not paying their portion of the rent is crazy. It's really insane. If you got time, Google it, check it out. But all of that makes me think, is the government helping or not? Are the subsidies truly subsidizing is the question. I don't know. Meek's comment kind of looks like a bot, so I don't know if I believe it. What I do know, however, is that folks in the comment section were saying that the girl in the beginning, the video that was originally stitched, they said that she was committing fraud and that's why she was getting kicked out. What? Ooh, the invisible pearls have been clutched. Somebody in the comments said, but she committed fraud. She didn't report her job for 6 months. They found out and backdated to the day she started her job.
Yes, she had a job. Yes, she didn't report it. Y'all have to understand why sometimes we don't report income.
What do you mean by that?
And I won't even say we. Some people are in positions where they have to get back on their feet. So reporting that job, y'all see how she was going to owe $8,000, bro. She would have still been in a worse, if not worse, a worse or if not worser situation if she had reported her income. Now, granted, she should have. I ain't gonna lie, she should have. Mama should have. She should have just played her cards and see where it would have landed her. But at the end of the day, reporting your income ultimately leaves you in a position to really not have anything because they're now taking everything and it's supposed to be housing assistance. Y'all be missing that point.
Now, I said, ain't this because we hate to run with the narrative that all people on government assistance are scammers or, trying to abuse the system, right? Nobody wants to believe that that is the majority, right? You like to give people the benefit of the doubt. So with that development, this is kind of giving way to more nuance to the situation. If this is true, the woman is totally wrong for not reporting. But on a side note, can we talk about how ironic it would be that somebody would be kicked out for not reporting their income changes so that they can take more rent from you? There's a system in play for that, right? But when you just pay market price for your apartment, you have to verify your income to afford it at the price that you get it, but then it keeps going up and nobody verifies again that you can still afford your place. Strange. Do with that information as you will. I also think that it's ironic, though, that someone would be kicked out for not reporting rent when literally in a few keystrokes, I'm sure that they could look up her social security number and see if she was getting a check or not. Who was not doing their job? They needed to be finding out who was not doing their job and verifying their tenant's income. Because I'm sure that's a requirement of somebody's job somewhere behind the desk. So in my opinion, I think that the landlord should assume some of the responsibility of her being displaced. There should be a limit on how long or how far back they're able to backdate the rent. Just because you guys were negligent for 6 months doesn't mean that she should be penalized for all of that. I think that they should take some responsibility in that way. I hope that that could be the case. You know, I think that's fair, especially in situations like low-income housing. I don't know. Comment your thoughts below. It's no secret that the economy is trash right now. Pricing is high while wages still remain low. And when you factor that in with laws, rules, and situations that make it harder to get ahead as a person, how does one survive? And at minimum, how do they put a roof over their head? One person says, they know childcare is more than what you earn, especially if more than one child. But if you make $1 over the minimum, they cut off childcare childcare assistance. Literally happened to me. It's like they love having you quit working and come back begging them for government assistance. Now, I'm not a statistician, but yet that logic just seems counterproductive, honestly. And it seems like others agree. One person says, housing help and income-based rent is a joke. The minute you try to save a dollar, they want you out. The whole system is broken. We were blessed to both land decent jobs and get out. Many don't. We honestly could go on and on about this topic. At the end of the day, though, it's obvious that affordable housing is an issue here in America. But I want to know, what are your thoughts? Is this epidemic something that can be resolved? And what has been your biggest challenge or experience when finding housing or maintaining a home? I'd love to know your thoughts below in a comment. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, you definitely a real one. So why you ain't hit that subscribe button yet? Like, I'm really trying to figure it out because that's crazy. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on that post notification bell. Again, I am dropping 3 videos this week. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.